Hi, welcome to some of the new things that we have in the STEMscopes program for 2016. I'm just going to show you a couple of highlights that might help you navigate STEMscopes a little bit more efficiently if you're used to the old version, as well as point out some brand new features that they just added. So let's take a look. The first thing you'll notice on the STEMscopes page is that the layout is a lot more clean and it's a lot more streamlined. It still has the same exact content as our old version, except it just looks a little bit different. So let's just take a quick look at the landscape on the home page. I can tell I'm in the home page because if I look up here at the top, I can see that the blue home button is highlighted. So that's how I know where I am. Um, if you continue on the horizontal menu, you'll see that there's also a planner, the scopes where we have most of our information, standard, students, assessment, STEM coach, and help. So this is the same exact choice that we had in the last version, just a little bit different look. Before we leave the home page, let's just do a quick navigation of what's on here. You'll notice that there's a section that says recently viewed scopes. STEMscopes keeps track of the scopes that you're visiting most often, and we'll go ahead and pop those onto your home page. If you view a scope, let's say for instance I have K.5a up here right now, if I don't go back into that for a few days, it'll take it off and replace it with where I have gone. The other thing that you'll see down here are your teacher sections. And so when you create your class, you will have one or two or three or four, or how many science classes you have. Those will be your teacher sections. Also down here is reflective of the student activity. So these would be assignments that you've assigned and where your students are in that progress. And then this is part of the planner. It's called upcoming lessons. So this is almost like a shopping cart or a shortcut list, the things that are coming up next that you've put into your planner on STEMscopes that you'd like to use. And we'll get to the planner in just a moment, so we'll come back to this piece. We're going to go ahead and skip over to the students portion, and then we'll come back to the planner. In order to use the planner or to assign assignments to your students, you'll need to create a class. It's very intuitive, very straightforward, and you just follow the instructions. What's obvious, you're going to add a class. Once you get in there, it's going to talk to Skyward and have a list of the students at your campus. You choose the students you want to be in the class. You can go to the Help button right here, and it has quick 1-2 minute videos to show you how to do that if you don't remember. One thing I will say though, if you have students in your list and they or students in your class and they don't show up in this STEMscopes list, this does interface with Skyward. Just give the help desk a quick email and let them know that some of your students aren't showing up. Go ahead and provide them with the names of those students and they can see what the problem is. Once you've created a class, you can go ahead and use the planner, and you can also assign assignments to your students. I want to show you the planner because this is a new feature that's pretty nice. What this does is it gives you a calendar view of what's coming up, and what you can do is basically drag and drop the pieces that you want to use on a particular day. Now, this planner unfortunately does not interface with the planner in Skyward. It really just serves as a quick link guide for what's going to be coming up, so you don't have to go back into the scopes and grab it. So you can see that I have a couple of things on my planner here, and if you noticed, this was on my home page because this is the day I'm actually making this video, and so this was something I wanted to use with my students, and so I drug it over here and it shows up on my home page. Let me go back and show you where it is. Right there. When I come back on Monday, all of the things that I have planned for Monday will be linked as there as well. Now you'll notice that this particular activity goes over 2 days, so when you drag and drop things into STEMscopes, you can actually extend them out. So let me show you how this works. You'll just choose your grade level over here. I'm going to go to 3rd grade. You'll go ahead and click on the scope that you're going to be using. And what this does is it opens up all of the components of STEMscopes in that scope. So I would need to have an idea of what I want to use beforehand, so I know what to drag and drop over. So let's say for instance that I'm going to go ahead and put in the science rock on today, on the 9th. I just drag it right on over and drop it in. Let's say for next week I want to use the picture vocabulary. I'm going to use that on the 15th and the 16th. I drop it into the 15th and I can just pull it over for however many days I would like. So when I come back to my home, you'll see there's the starters that was already there, and there's the science rock right there. You can also go to your planner at any time, and let's say for instance you were a couple of days ahead or behind, you could just use this to go ahead and click right to the piece that you want to go to. So these are live links that take you right into that part of the scope. So that's a brand new feature that's pretty cool, might save you a little bit of time. You can also share this planner with your teammate, so whatever you put into your planner you can share it and they'll show up in their planner. So that's great. You can also print it out. Another component that is new this year, as I mentioned before, is the help. I want to show this to you because this will save you a lot of frustration because it can answer your questions. Like everything in STEMscopes, they usually do things very straightforward, very user-friendly. So I just want to show you what this looks like. They have it divided up into the pieces that are used the most. So if you need a reminder about how to use the planner, scopes, the standards piece we don't use that much, but you might want to take a look in there. How to create your class, how to use the assessment bank, and then it has some other features in there as well. And each one of these, when we go into, let's go to the planner since we were just there, it has a quick FAQ and then some how-tos. And so again, these are very straightforward and very user-friendly. There's a little video, quick tutorial on how to use the lesson planner if you're a visual learner. You'll also notice that it has a place in here for you to add it to your planner. So say for instance, you need this help in your planner to access it quickly. All the components of STEMscopes you can just go ahead and add right on into your planner, and that'll open that up right there. The next thing I want to show you that's new is before we wrap up is a new component in the scope, and that is in the evaluation piece. I'm going to just go ahead and choose, let me go on ahead and go down into 5th grade, and we'll go into the scope here for properties of water. When I go to evaluate, which is the pull down menu, you'll see all of the different things that we had last year, all the different varieties of assessments, but they've added this year claims, evidence, and reasoning, which can really help you assess whether your kids are getting the level of rigor for the standard. This is a new component, and so I will be infusing some information about that in the curriculum previews, but you can go ahead and start using that and take a look and see how that might fit. You can print these out. You can sign it online like all of your other assignments too, and you can see right there there's that add to planner label right there. When you go into the scopes for K1 and 2, you'll see claims, evidence, and reasoning as a title, but for those younger grades it will only include claim and evidence, and then the reasoning component comes in with 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So a brand new component that looks pretty great. The last thing I want to show you in the scopes is actually in the teacher toolbox. For those of you that know me, you know I love what's in the teacher toolbox. There's so many different things in there, so let's get in there and take a look. This has a nice cleaner line as well. Some of the great resources that we have are still in there ready. Tool cards, lab manager cards. There's a couple of lesson planning documents in there that are nice. There's some information about the standards. This is a new component, which is interventions, which are pretty interesting. If you've got some kiddos that you're having some struggles in your science class, it gives you some different strategies to address that in different areas. And the piece I really wanted to show you here is the literacy piece. This is a brand new component. It includes a Lexile conversion chart for the reading science that we have in there, the student vocabulary card, which is a Freyer model. But these two pieces are pretty interesting and a really nice resource. These are designed to be either for K through 2 or 3 through 5. So if we click on that, we can see that there's different templates, and they're basically different strategies for using literacy and reading in science. So if you had, for instance, informational text that you were reading, this would be a way for your students to take that information and do something with it. And I'm going to scroll through here just to give you an idea of how many there are. And they just keep going and going. and going, and they're really great. So there's lots of concept maps and graphic organizers and tons of different ways for your kiddos to give you some feedback on what they're reading. And I think a lot of these could also be used with any sort of information. So could be, excuse me while I scroll back up very quickly. So it could be informational text from the STEMscopedia. It could be informational text from the Science Rocks song lyrics. It could be informational text from a video that you watch. So there's a whole host of things you could use these strategies with as far as processing that information. And as I mentioned, this is under literacy. There's another section that is specifically for 3 through 5. So brand new piece. I'm pretty excited about that. I think that's going to be a great resource for us. And then just to wrap up, we've also got, remember, we've got all those process skills. So there are specific lessons for every single process skill that you have for science. There's a try it now as well as an assessment, and you just choose your grade level. There's a teacher side that's orange, and then the student side here that's blue. And then the master list, we've had that before as well. So these are just a couple of new components for STEMscopes. I hope that you found something that piques your interest a little bit, and good luck this 6 weeks, and we will see you next 6 weeks. Thanks so much.